Guys, welcome to Black Scout Survival Late Night Live. Thanks for tuning in. Man, some crazy stuff has came out. Let's start off with this. Did you guys hear that they tried to take down J.D. Vance's plane too? I'm just kidding. Anyway, J.D. Vance's plane had to make an emergency landing at Milwaukee International Airport after a malfunction mid-flight. According to reports, they had a main door open during mid-flight. Man, I just think it's kind of sketchy that multiple times, coincidental, I guess, that we had Trump plane had to make an emergency, and then we have J.D. Vance having to make an emergency. It's odd, right? To say the very least. But we've been speculating about these sort of things. We've speculated that they would try to take down a plane. I don't think they'll try lone shooter again because there's just too many loose ends, as we're going to get into tonight. So Louisiana Congressman Clay Higgins, a lot of you guys are familiar with him. He's always fighting the good fight. He has been tasked, part of the task force investigating the J-13 or July 13 assassination attempt on Donald Trump and Butler, and the FBI and Secret Service had some failures, obviously, or Donald Trump would have got shot in the ear and guys in the crowd wouldn't have been shot, one of them being killed. But he claimed, right, this is Congressman Higgins, claimed after a few days visiting the Butler Farm Show grounds and interviewing local law enforcement, the FBI released the crime scene too early and cleaned up biological evidence from the scene. Now, we saw photos of this. I talked about this. The FBI released this crime scene within 3 days, which is unheard of. I mean, it's just common knowledge that the Congress would be investigating the shooting, why they would release a crime scene so early. And Higgins also says that, the FBI cleaned up the biological evidence from the crime scene, which he says is unheard of. Cops don't do that, like, ever. And I remember whenever I spoke about this, and I had many guys in law enforcement careers that commented, and they said, never does law enforcement clean up a crime scene. Usually it's left to the individual who owns the building, house, residence, whatever. They're the ones that has the onus to clean up the crime scene, which could be terrible, right? I mean, it could be terrible because it could, let's say, a home intruder in your home, and they shoot one of your family, or you have to clean up the freaking crime scene, or you shoot someone in your house. And so the FBI actually cleaning up, taking time to do this is absolutely absurd. And if you're in law enforcement, please comment. I would like to have more folks telling us about this. Have they ever heard of this? But the other thing is we have some footage that came out. Now, some of this I showed before, but I want to show this because the biggest reason is it goes against what the FBI and Secret Service had already reported. So let's watch this video real quick.
Paul, get them out of here! Get them out! No. Is he a shooter? Did he have a weapon? Is he? That was the report.
Relay. Information on anything. Understood. No confirmation. They were relaying the ladder on the right hand side or the left hand side. They're on the way with it.
Hold.
To be advanced on standby. There as well.
Full kit. He's got full.
They are where you want.
He's laying down, thrown out, full bag next to him.
Close to this. Don't get white. Great. Okay, that's fine. Jump to like summer reading if possible.
Watch out, he's getting.
We're just trying to hold the roof the best we can.
There's a lot of this video to go through. Alexis McAdams is here to walk us through.
So they're trying to scale this little plastic shed thing. Anyway, here's some more footage.
Why were we not on the roof? Why weren't we? I told them they need to post the guy over here. I told them that the Secret Service. I told them that Tuesday. I told them to post guys over here.
Yeah, so telling them to put people on the roof, no one was on that roof but the gunman. So check this out. About 30 seconds before this gunman opened fire that day, one officer had a chance to stop this whole thing, to stop the shooter. That local officer was boosted up by another cop, but when he saw the armed 20-year-old up on the roof, he ended up dropping down. Then the gunman started shooting. That officer describing those critical moments.
Before you came up here, I popped my head up there like an idiot by myself, dude. He turned around, I dropped.
So in one video, you can hear these officers discussing how they were watching this gunman. They saw him there in the crowd. They said he was creeping people out, but they lost track of him. Watch.
On the north side was the gentleman with the flat face that we were looking for earlier. He was creeping people out over Brinkles. He was last seen in the woods by the water tower.
You good, bro? Yeah, I know. I hear you.
We were watching.
I know, yeah.
Couldn't find him.
So the professionals who do this for a living lost sight of someone that they assume was going to be a problem. And this goes against a lot of what has been reported before, that they, obviously they knew about Crooks for a very long time, probably 2 months prior, let's be honest, 6 months prior, when they were going to the range and training with him, right? And that's just speculation. But anyway, so the biggest thing is, and we've talked about cover-ups. We've discussed this in great detail, and I highly suggest, if this is the first video you've seen, go watch the whole slew of videos I've done on this, because a lot of this I don't want to talk back through. I'm going to assume you already watched them. So Higgins says that in his effort to go examine Crooks' body on Monday, August 5th, that actually caused quite a stir. That they were kind of upset he came to review the body. And it revealed a disturbing fact that the FBI released the body for cremation 10 days after J13. So they released the body for cremation. And Butler County Coroner technically had the legal authority over the body. Higgins said he spoke to the coroner and that he would have never in his tour of duty released a body for cremation that was something subject to this scale of criminal activity, unless without giving specific direction by the FBI. So the Butler County Coroner was told by the FBI to release the body to the Crooks family for cremation. Why would they do that? Why would they do that? Like, let's say I put my tinfoil conspiracy theory hat on. Yeah, because we need to get rid of the body because we don't want to see the MK Ultra drugs in the system. That's tinfoil hat conspiracy. Just throw that away. Pretend you didn't hear that. But the other thing is, the other oddity to this is the coroner report was late. Well over a week late. What took so long? We've seen a similar thing in the Epstein case. Did we ever hear anything about the Vegas shooter? I don't think so. He was probably cremated the day of. But it's also been revealed, very concerning point, that the Secret Service did not retrieve radios that had been set aside for them by the Butler County Tactical Team, even though they had called to tell them to come pick them up again the day before and the morning of the shooting. The Secret Service never got the radios. That's why they could never communicate, hey, we have Crooks. We see Crooks. The officer that climbs up on top of the roof, he cannot communicate with Secret Service. Now, before J13, the Secret Service has never, ever been assigned a counter sniper team to a former president, including Donald Trump. This is actually the first time ever. Listen to me. They've never given a counter sniper team to a former president ever. This is the first time. So it's the first time that CNN was there, live feed, as well as other news media. because they had to catch it on film. The counter sniper team had to take down the Patsy. They had to have the counter sniper team that day because they could not let the Patsy survive. The other thing a lot of people didn't know, and I didn't know this either until this report from Higgins. Thank goodness we have people like this actually digging into this, because this media has shut it down, and this video is going to get suppressed as well. And anything going along looking into this freaking dark hole of J13 is being suppressed. They're pretending like it's never happened. They want it to go away. They want it to go away like the Vegas shooting. I still talk about Vegas shooting. I'm not going to quit talking about it. But the other thing is there was a SWAT officer from Butler County that actually shot Crooks first. He shot Crooks, hit his rifle, destroyed the bolt carrier group, and exploded into Crooks' face. We never heard that. Crooks' rifle was inoperable at that point. But they had to take down the Patsy. He was done shooting. His rifle was no longer in operation. But they had to eliminate the Patsy. And I think that many of us have been questioning this, all these various things, but they want to suppress it. Why is that? It's because they just like everything in life, they don't want you to talk about it. So the other thing is that Crooks did not use a ladder to scale the roof. Well, dude, hold up. Hold up. Say what? Because I remember the FBI reports that said Crooks bought a ladder from Home Depot and carried it to the event. They said that in the reports. I had screenshots of it I showed. But he didn't use a ladder now. Why did he go buy a ladder and carry it to the event and just prop it up against the building, I guess? I don't need to use it. I'm going to scale the building like Spider-Man. Maybe Crooks wanted to try out his new superpower he had. I don't know. Very strange. But some other things came out in this report, which could be cover up. We don't know. But I'm just going to tell you, just so you can have the information. This is a view of the stadium. So in this report here, you can look through these things. Crooks, they say, was the only shooter. They ruled out a possible second shooter being on top of the water tower because, obviously there's a video circulating online, and I've shown it. A lot of people shown it. They've talked about it. Even some of my sniper friends have talked about it. They said it's very plausible. But they said apparently that the water tower was cleared by a drone that morning and that the ladder was never lowered that day, making it highly unlikely that anyone could have accessed the tower. Well, you did it that morning. They could also lie. They also said they didn't use drones. So I don't know. Such inconsistencies, because did you not see the reports that I shown, took screenshots of from the FBI saying or Secret Service, they did not use drones. Now all of a sudden they use drones. Some snipers that I know said they would use the water tower. That'd be, other ones said they wouldn't. Now, then it comes into the window below Crooks. That's been another one. And I think that would be a more viable option. But however, apparently this window does not have the ability to open. It's a fixed window. It doesn't open. And there was no shattered glass. So pretty much threw that out the window, so they say. Now, there are videos online showing muzzle flashes there, but apparently those are digitally altered, they say. Apparently they've diagnosed those videos and said that they are absolutely altered, fabricated digitally. Or it could be some kind of flash from sun hitting off something, maybe a sniper scope. But it's just constant lies with this thing, right? Consistent lies. I don't know how we can believe anything they say at this point. Now, I think Clay Higgins is on it because he's shown a history of weeding out deep state propaganda. But I also showed a video, if you recall. There was one guy recording the entire time with a cell phone, and he spoke about a guy in a red truck that looked very suspicious, had a rifle or something that looked to be like a rifle, and then that guy vanished. He was actually like escorted out or something quickly. Now, shooting from the ground or shooting from a vehicle may be possible. I don't know. I don't know the trajectory. I can't see the trajectory just from film, so I don't know. But again, some sniper friends of mine say water tower, some say building. Regardless, let's say there's not a second shooter. There was absolutely passive activity amongst government agencies to allow this to happen. They allowed it to happen. Maybe Crooks was trained. He was supposedly going to the shooting range. He had a full kit with him. You heard the police officer say he's got a full kit, meaning plate carrier, bag of loaded magazines, and that even goes against the story that was reported by the FBI early on, saying that he bought 50 rounds. Apparently had a whole freaking bag full of magazines loaded. So he had a full kit up there. How did he get up there? How did he scale the building without a ladder? The professionals those guys that look like they're in shape, they could barely get up on top of the building. The one guy couldn't even pull himself up, cuts his hand. But Crooks made it up there effortlessly, like freaking Spider-Man, like Peter Parker. And my other questions, though, is that how did Crooks become the shooter? We know that he had someone by cell phone triangulation, whatever they did, well beyond my scope of IT tech, but they triangulated that he had met with someone very close to an FBI field office 9 times. Crooks was supposedly a loner. No one liked him, but he's meeting with this guy, and this guy's getting on planes. This other guy going to Washington and back. How did Crooks become the shooter? He was so aggravated by Donald Trump, but he never posted anything about him online. Look at all the crazies, man. I saw a guy that I follow. He's not a political guy whatsoever, or wasn't until yesterday, but he posted some pro-Trump content yesterday, and he got an absolute absurd amount of hate coming from his followers. So Crooks, 20-year-old with no social media presence. He also somehow figured out how to manufacture a remote trigger bomb. Come on. Talk to an EOD guy and tell him how easy that is to do. It's not. So again, we still don't know who he was in contact with. He had 2 cell phones. Why is a loner that lives with his parents, that works at a nursing home, fixing plates of food for the elderly, have 2 cell phones? No girlfriends, no boyfriends. But he had 3 encrypted accounts as well overseas. But they don't know. However, what they do know is that they picked up grandma that was visiting the Capitol on January 6th. They got her locked up. And I keep going back to the one guy they picked out by his freaking ear. That's how scary this junk is. They picked out old boy by his ear because he had on a what's the thing? A gator? Is that what it's called? The tube thing you put around your face, and a hat. And he had the top of his ear, like half of his ear. They just saw this point here, and they went and found him. They raided his home. He wasn't there at the time. They raided his home, put a AR pointed at his pregnant wife. She almost lost the baby. They called Liberty Safe, broke into his safe. Liberty gave him the passcode to get into the safe. You remember this? They took all his guns, which I don't even know what that has to do with anything. They went and picked him up from the business he owned. in front of all his employees at gunpoint, like he's some freaking threat to national security. They treat Taliban better. Taliban got nods and AR-15s, MRAPs, $40 million a week. But they can't find out about this guy or the Vegas shooter, but anybody. Remember the kid that shot up the massage parlor, all right-wing extremists, freaking blah, 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 all this kind of junk. They knew everything about him. Oh, he had a manifesto. He's this and that. Every freaking time. But Crooks, the Vegas shooter, the trans shooter, the kid school, beep, nothing, doesn't hear anything. Cover up. Every time it's a cover up. Every time. Yeah, freaking Blackhawks. They gave Taliban Blackhawks. Quads, quad nods. They're rocking those, 40 grand a piece. The panoramic ones. Man, you could have gave that to us back home. Whenever we get invaded. We are invaded by the southern border. But I saw someone comment yesterday, said, when the Taliban parade come to the southern border. I laughed a lot about that comment. Thank you for that. It was good. Yeah, they're getting a monthly stipend, just like the immigrants are getting a monthly stipend as well. They're getting monthly stipend too. They're getting luxury hotels. And meanwhile, we're struggling to freaking live. Have you bought groceries lately? I did today. Oh man. Brutal. Fill up your gas tank. Brutal. I remember so much whenever I had my Jeep, and I was going to the gas station. It was Obama was president, filling up my Jeep, and man, it was $80 a week. You know, as soon as Trump became president, that junk went down to freaking $42 a week, literally. And I'm like, who can argue with this? Man, say all the mean shit you want to on Twitter, bro. Say whatever. Say the craziest thing you can think of. Man. Groceries are half the price. I remember the one kid, he showed he had a Walmart.com account, and he went to go buy something from 3 years ago, like you can do reorder, and it tripled in price. Absolutely crazy. One guy I saw last night, and real quick, he was saying that NMN, he was giving me a super chat and I totally missed it. And sorry about that, buddy. But he was saying that NMN has changed his life. He said it multiple times. And so just for you, buddy, just for you, I contacted Black Forest Supplements today. And this is the thing. I want to help people, because let me go down a rabbit hole for a rant for a minute. There's so many people that do this like online coaching nonsense. Have you seen this kind of stuff? And they're telling you got to have 6-pack abs to sell cars and all this kind of nonsense. Absolutely ridiculous. But the thing is I believe in a different philosophy. I'm not lifting weights or being strong for vanity. It's strictly for survival, right? And being able to carry your body weight to live long. I mean, who wants to live long? Raise your hand. Some of y'all maybe don't. I do. I want to live a long time. And I want the quality of life to be good for a long time. One thing that I did learn through tremendous amounts of research is there's a few things that lead to longevity. One is the amount of muscle mass you can maintain. You maintain a tremendous amount of muscle mass because your body goes through sarcopenia, which starts eating your muscle mass, and you start shrinking. The more muscle mass you maintain, the healthier you are, the longer you live. The other thing too is reducing your visceral fat, and that gets hard as you get old. I'm figuring that out. It's hard to keep that visceral, that midsection off. That midsection fat is a killer. But I want to help people, obviously, and because the gentleman last night and a few other people saying that they want to get better, they've been getting better. I've built something called the revamped stack. And this is the whole setup here. And it is a great freaking deal. The revamped stack is the whole package. It's everything I take every single day. NMN, Turkesterone and Tomcat Ali, the mixed version, which is phenomenal. Berberine, 5 times strength. Berberine is a great, I'll go through what these things do in a minute. Cocoa flavonols and Cistanch with Tomcat Ali. So you're getting the whole thing. And what I like about Black Forest supplements, why I use this over any other supplement company, is because these are all natural ingredients. These are not these chemical stacks. You go buy this nonsense BCAAs and all these other chemical induced pre-workouts and all this kind of stuff that's going to hurt you, right? But what we have here is 35% off and a buy 2 get 1 free, which is unheard of. This is better deal than the last one. So this is the full lineup of what I take every day. And all I say is take it and see, take it for the supply time, and then come back and tell me how much it's changed your freaking life. Yes, this will work for women too. Lolo's asking this. And the swimming fix a beer belly. Just don't drink beer, man. Beer actually increases estrogen. If you didn't know that, it does. It absolutely does. But NMN is anti-aging, right? So I'm sorry, it's reverse aging, not anti-aging. It's reverse aging. It will make you younger. It's made me younger. I feel younger. Turkesterone is a muscle builder, and Tomcat Ali helps with your hormone supplementation. So it increases your natural hormones. So if you're a woman, it's going to help with your estrogen. If it's a man, it's going to help you with your testosterone. It will also help libido. It helps libido in men and women. Berberine will cut belly fat. No kidding. It increases metabolism because as you get older, your metabolism slows down. It'll help it get better. Cocoa flavonols helps with stem cell production. And all of these stacked together work synergistically. So taking a cocoa flavonol that increases your pump because it's going to increase your nitrogen oxide, that's going to help you pump those muscles up, enhancing them to get bigger. It also help your heart for cardiovascular, so you're going to have much more endurance. And then it's going to help with stem cell rejuvenation, as well as the NMN doing the reverse aging. They're going to work simultaneously, right? All this stuff. Cistanch and Tomcat Ali. Cistanch is an incredible, it's an ancient actually product, but it helps with a whole host of things, mental clarity, all this kind of stuff. So this is the stack. But again, the deal is 35% off, buy 2, get 1 free. You don't need a code. The link is going to have the code automatic. So that way you can get that at that moment. So jump on it, guys. It's something good. Someone's asking me what's my favorite, I guess, red dot sight for rifle. EOTech. That's what I use. I've got a EOTech. I got EOTechs on all my rifles, and then I have a magnifier on one. I'm going to actually talk about that in a video soon. I plan on doing a SHTF because we're close to the end times here. Loadout. No nonsense. Like, I'm not going to waste your time. I'm going to tell you what I feel like you need, the bare minimum, bare bones stuff, not going above and beyond. I'm going to tell you what I think you really need to kit out with. And you have to understand that my philosophy comes from a different place than many other people. I believe you have to be light and mobile. I don't believe in you're going to have the ability to stay somewhere unless you have an absolute fortress. And if you have an absolute fortress, then buy all the food that you can possibly afford and stock it, and ammo, obviously, to defend your place. But most people don't have that luxury. So I feel like you need to be light, mobile. Okay. You need to be nomadic. You need to be resourceful and all these sort of things. And there's equipment that can help with that. Obviously, training helps with that tremendously, but there's equipment that can supplement to training. That's how the game works. As well as, but you're going back to your red dot sight. For pistol, I use a RMR, Trijicon RMR on one pistol. The rest of my pistols, I use iron sights just because, well, I weigh myself down. And I would prefer to not rely on technology if I don't have to. Okay. It's just the way it is. But someone's saying that they've heard rumors of viruses coming back alive, new ones. Yeah, I've heard the same. You know, I just don't think the populace will deal with nonsense like they did previously. I think a lot of people had a wake up call. Even people that are still left leaning that I've seen or spoken with, they would not go along with the nonsense again. Okay, they fell. So retired MP saying just go iron sights. Absolutely, yeah. There's nothing wrong with that, man. Nothing wrong. I ran iron sights for a long time. In the Marine Corps, we didn't have ACOGs in the beginning or EOTechs or anything like that. It was iron sights. I think iron sights is phenomenal. Obviously, bolt guns, you want a very good quality magnified optic. I actually run a loopholed like tactical sniper scope on my bolt gun, but it's worth more than the gun. You're going to spend much more on the optic on a sniper rifle than you would the gun. You know what I mean? But I do like EOTechs. A lot of people don't. I think they're great. They're reasonably priced. A lot of people run ACOGs. ACOGs are expensive. I think they're a good shit hit the fan optic because you can get the tritium illumination or the fiber, so not dependent upon batteries. Has some magnification to it, and you can put an RMR on top of that as well for CQB type stuff. So I think it's a great optic for shit hits the fan, and I'll talk about that in that video whenever I talk about it. I think you need the ability to magnify though, because you may have to reach out and touch somebody. So I think having that ability is crucial in a grid down scenario. So the iron sights are good though, because nothing's going to happen to them. Like, when the batteries run out, you can't get more. And I'm going to talk about that sort of things in the video as well. But being light, I think a lot of people, what they see is on Instagram. A lot of people make videos for Instagram and YouTube to look sexy. It's nothing wrong with it. It's part of getting a following. There's lots of probably gun tubers you follow. They're in clearing rooms in an empty warehouse. That's not reality. And if you go watch my film at blackscoutfilms.com, I talk about that, because when you clear a room, it's probably going to be your freaking house, and there's going to be furniture in there, and it's going to be probably in the dark, because darkness is your friend. Okay. That's the idea, but you're going to have furniture to move around. You're not going to be clearing an empty warehouse with 4 dudes with nods on. It's just not reality. Not reality. It looks great on Instagram. It looks cool. You see them wearing their Vans. They're moving around real cool. Looks great. Reality, not real at all. So anyway, someone says have backup flip up irons. Absolutely. I don't have the option for my gun because I have a PEC on there for my night vision. And if my main optic goes down, which it should never, but if it does, then I'll switch to, I'm going to be in the dark, so I'm going to be shooting on a laser anyway, or I'll switch on the red laser and just use it as that. And then pop. I have backups in my chest rig, and I mark them with the pin. If you're in the military, I'm talking about the pin where you mark the rail, so you can snap the things back on real quickly, so you don't lose zero, right? And a lot of people they don't know that you have to zero an optic, right? That are very new to guns. You have to zero the optic to the gun, okay? And everybody's zero is different. So anyway, guys, I wanted to share that with you, but I do appreciate you hanging out. Make sure you leave a comment, share, all that sort of stuff. Go buy the revamped stock. Get healthy. Now's the time. Don't wait. And the thing is, this is what I take every day. This stack is what I take every day. Get fit, get better, and make a better version of you. Look, you don't have to compete with people online. The thing is, people think that they see these highly photoshopped photos on Instagram. They're like, I'll never achieve that, so I'm not going to do it. Be the best version of you, man. Be the best version of you, right? Be your own superhero, right? When your kids look at you, your wife looks at you, that's superhero. That's freaking Batman. Be Batman. Remember to stay frosty, stay strapped, guys, and always stay dangerous. Take care.